Hi, this is Perfect Daze here, and welcome to my channel and welcome to my new setup. If you caught my last video, you know that I am trying to add two things to my channel. One are wellness videos on Wednesdays, and another is to be able to speak more casually with you through chats like this. And so I thought that maybe we could get started, and this is just my desk over here. If you want to have a hot beverage and enjoy this little chat with me, I would really like it. What I have today is hot chocolate almond milk, and this is my usual drink. I don't drink any coffee or anything like that. If you want to enjoy a meal as well, I invite you to bring it and then watch this video. And so the idea of this video, this type of video came up because I did want to speak a little bit more informally with you, but also because sometimes I have ideas that I want to share, but it might not be enough to make an entire video. And so I thought about combining a couple of topics together so that it would kind of make a longer video. And I'm just going to just share with you my notebook. So I just got this notebook and it's really cute. It says, "Grow Your Own Way," which I think is very suiting for how I feel right now. In my previous video, I talked about having anxiety over thinking about what's next and how to stay optimistic as I get older and also with everything that's happening in the world. And I think grow your own way is important because we're all different, and whatever our paths are, it's important that we be true to ourselves. I also think the picture is really cute. It has like mushrooms and flowers and butterflies, and of course it's in my favorite color, pink. And if you're wondering, I got this book at Target. So I went ahead and I wrote some of the topics I wanted to talk to you about, and they sort of are all over the place. If you've watched my other videos before, or if you're a long-time subscriber on my channel, you know that I kind of started my channel with talking about handbags, and then outfits, and then minimalism, and then now moving a little bit more toward wellness and anything else that I feel like is important in my life, in your lives right now. And so I have 4 topics for today, and the first one I want to talk about is mental health care. So I thought about this a lot because I am trying to come up with, as I said, the Wellness Wednesday videos. And this kind of came about because I know that, first of all, there's a lot of talk about mental health, and I think that we're in need of good mental health and help for that, right? And I've been thinking from my own personal experience that how hard it is to actually get help for your mental health. There are a lot of organizations that give a lot of awareness, right? I think we spent the last few years trying to destigmatize mental health, right? Any mental health problems. And while we're raising awareness, sometimes I'm wondering okay, well, what's the next step? We all know that mental health is important. We all know that anybody can be affected by good or bad mental health. And so what can we do about it? And so the question that I was thinking about was, what is it that I would want a friend or a family member or a therapist to say to me if I was having a problem? And this is good in both ways. I was thinking, it's something that I could either ask people to please do for me, or it's something that I could do for others as well. And I would be very interested to know how you would answer this question. So the question being what would you want somebody to say to you if you were suffering from a bad day or a bad week, a bad month, and your mental health is really just down right now, right? So I came up with 5 things that maybe somebody could say. I'm not saying that this applies to everyone. This is just my own opinion because I know that, as we said, everybody's different, right? So the first thing I think that would be nice to hear is if you're going through something and somebody says, "I understand," or they say that "I've been through the same thing," right? It's always good, I think, to have that understanding from someone. The other thing I feel like is important to say is something along the lines of, "You're not crazy, you've just been through some stuff, and how can I help you?" And I think it's important that, I know crazy is not a word that we want to use at this point. I think the point of using that word is to not label anybody anything in particular, but just that we are all normal human beings and we're going through something. And so it almost validates our feeling like we're going through some not so pleasant, maybe even terrible things, right? And how can I help you is, well, that's a very direct way of asking, like, you know, how help can be given. And a lot of times for me, the first step for help is to identify the problem or to even express the problem. So I'd like it if somebody can say something like, tell me all about what's on your mind and I won't interrupt so that I can take everything in. Because I think it's really important first for me, and I would assume for other people too, is to get a good understanding of what that person is going through. And that requires a lot of active listening. And sometimes when I'm having a stream of thought, it is just great not to be interrupted. So that's why the person promises that they're not going to interrupt. Another thing I think is important to say is something like along the lines of your perception is valid. And at some point when the person has finished expressing themselves, that perhaps they are looking for an opinion or an insight, but to present it, maybe a friend or a therapist should say something along the lines of, I can offer you some insights and you tell me if they apply to you. So you are getting that person's opinion, but at the same time, they're not saying, oh, your problem is this, your problem is that, you are this way because of X, Y, Z. They are offering a potential insight and you can see if it resonates with you or not. And last but not least, I think it's important to always end conversations with sort of a positive note. I know that things can't always be positive, but something like of a good sort of prognosis, like, oh, there is hope for you, things will get better, you know, that kind of thing. I think that's really important. So I think that knowing like what to do about mental health, asking the right questions, saying the right things is potentially the next step, right? Because we can always, you know, when people say, oh, please take care of your mental health, and you don't know how to do it, right? Or they say something like, if you have a problem, talk to someone you trust. Well, what if there's nobody you trust, or the person that you trusted is the one that is potentially giving you issues? So I think it is important to think about what it is that we want from people and how we might also help people in a similar way. So I'd be very interested to know what you would like to hear if you were having problems. Very curious, because I think that this will give so much insight for me dealing with other people and also with myself as well. Okay, so moving on to the next topic. I had written down here, you're not lazy, you're emotionally exhausted. I think that our society is collectively emotionally exhausted. Don't get me wrong, I think that we're physically exhausted too, but we're definitely also emotionally exhausted. And it's at pandemic levels, I'm sure. And so this one, I don't have much to say about it because I haven't figured out and I haven't researched yet, like, oh, what to do when you do feel emotionally exhausted. I just have at this point identified that this could be a great cause of a lot of tiredness or what is perceived as laziness. And if you are emotionally exhausted, can you please tell me what's the cause of it? There are a ton of things. For me, it's feeling like sort of like a time crunch. It's the busyness of every day. It's the news that I watch that I probably should take a break from. All of these different things. And it's like dealing with the different relationships in my life and, reflecting back on my own experiences too. So definitely emotionally exhausted. And maybe actually your job, your profession is also very emotionally exhausting. I can imagine, because I know mine is, and I think that there are a lot of other jobs that are the same way. Okay, moving on to, I don't know if this seems like a lighter topic, but this is the price of handbags has skewed my perception with everything. So, as I said, if you have been a long-time subscriber of my channel, you would know that I started this channel talking a lot about handbags, and then I kind of wanted to move away from that, from being some central theme. But I also know that my like updated handbag collection is usually a popular video. And so I'm in the process of making my 2022 luxury handbag collection. And as I have been doing that, I've just been thinking about how the price of handbags has skewed my perception of everything. Let me see if I have, let me just grab my handbag. Hold on a second. So the one that I am using today, or that I used today, is this one here. This is the Louis Vuitton Easy Pouch in the white or the ivory epee leather. And this bag cost, I think, around like $2,000, right? And at a time when I first started purchasing luxury handbags, $2,000 was very high up there. It was probably at the higher range of what I was willing to spend. And now when I look at prices of handbags, they are double that price. And it's skewed my perception of everything else, like thinking, okay, well, is this a reasonable price? I want to come back down to earth a little bit in terms of what I think is a reasonable price for these items, because I do enjoy them. I know a lot of people enjoy them, but there is a little bit of a wonky, I think, perception in terms of what we're paying and what we are getting. So I definitely feel that way, and give this video a thumbs up if you agree. And the last point that I want to talk about today that's related is what's up with Chanel. Even though I'm not active in producing a lot of videos about luxury handbags, I do watch videos from time to time. And I know recently people have been experiencing quality issues with Chanel. I think it was coming from the 22 bags where the leather was already disintegrating or falling apart after 1, 2, or 3 uses, or the straps coming off of the heart bags, right? So back when I used to buy Chanel, which was not that long ago, but I haven't bought anything recently, I feel like the quality back then when I was still purchasing was potentially coming down. And at this point, it seems like it's at unacceptable levels, and the prices have also gone way up, right? So I'm essentially saying that I am not only outpriced from Chanel, but I think I'm out quality from Chanel too, as in the quality is like not good enough, right, for the price that you're paying. So I can't pay that price anyways. The quality would not have met my standards. And also I'm becoming more of a minimalist, so I am not looking to add any more Chanels in my collection anyways. But I do think that it's fallen a lot, and it's very sad to see. It will be interesting to see what happens to the institution of luxury goods in the future, how it will adapt and change, and whether it is just going to keep going at the rate it does, which is quality down, prices up. I'm not sure. I'm sure if you are into luxury handbags, you will have an opinion about this, and I would love to hear those opinions as well. So that's it for today's topics. I want to thank you so much for joining me with this chat. I'm going to go ahead and edit this video and put it up and see how you like it. I will still be producing videos in which they are more, I guess, well thought out, but I also think having a chat with you like this is really nice. Please let me know. And next time maybe I'll do something a little bit different, but I really enjoy talking to you. And until next time, I wish you all perfect days. Bye.